This is a content warning. This is a trigger warning. You have now tuned in to Hard Knock Logic Podcast. If you are listening to this podcast at work or around children, I suggest your ass put on headphones.
I'm always going to have fear skepticism. I can't force myself to see contradiction when reality tells me otherwise.
The universe is under no obligation to make sense to you.
I'm always going to have fear skepticism.
The universe is under no obligation to make sense to you. And nowhere and at no time are we trained how to turn a fact into knowledge, knowledge into wisdom, and wisdom into insight.
I'm always going to have fear skepticism.
Does the capacity of awareness develop, getting stronger and stronger in endurance? And is this what you mean by awakening of intelligence? If so, does this not imply process?
And this is Hard Knock Logic Podcast with your boy Bobby Renaissance. We got Young D, Lady T, and Wes in the studio. And on this show, I'm going to start off with a word of the day.
Gang shit.
I really want to.
Oh man.
I want to start doing a word of the day. So today, the word is empathy. The ability to imagine how others feel. In order to develop my empathetic skills, I must ask myself, how would I feel under the same circumstances? So the word of the day is empathy.
Word of the day.
Nigga don't.
I didn't need
ever.
a song.
So, my boy Wes has a topic he wants to start us off with.
Indeed, indeed.
Healthcare and screening.
Hey Wes.
And go ahead.
Hi. Hey, how you doing?
I'll bleep that.
Oh my goodness. You refer to him as Young D or D right here?
Oh, I called you out your government name? Oh, my bad, man. Oh, my bad.
She said some shit. Did you know how I bleep that out? Yeah.
My bad, yo. Okay, Young D, how are you doing?
I'm well. Welcome.
Good.
Welcome.
Thank you, man. It's good to be here. I just wanted to bring up the topic of just overall health in general. I felt the need to just bring this up to everybody, not necessarily in an instance of like this is something that I'm researching. I'm a boxer by nature, and I get paid for it. I get in the ring, rough people up, and everything like that. And one of the things is I have to keep my health intact. So I really just go to the doctor and I ask every single question that just comes across my mind. Like, yo, I need to know this. I need to know this. I need to know this. And I do that monthly. And it just popped into my head. I'm like, yo, how often do we actually see our doctors? And I asked around. Like, a lot of people would be like, yo, twice a year, 3 times a year. And I'm like,
That's still a lot, though.
in my mind, I don't think it is.
But see, you're an athlete, so your level of going to the doctor, like the average person, regular is a checkup and maybe 1 or 2 other visits throughout the year.
And that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is basically like maybe 4, maybe, and people be like, that's too much. I'm like, well, at the same time, it's like, okay, 2 actual checkups, like, 2 actual real checkups per year, and then going to see your doctor every now and then just to ask questions and make sure that everything is functioning right. Because it's like,
Well, here's the problem with that. And I think I look at that as the same thing as going to the dentist, which I believe is absolutely mandatory that you go for, a tri-monthly cleaning. I'm pretty sure you can only go to the dentist it's like
Every 6 months?
every 6 months.
For like a checkup?
Yeah. So it's like you go to the dentist twice a year, and within those 6 months, you're probably, I brush my teeth very thoroughly, but I can't imagine like other people and what they go ahead and put on their teeth and are like maybe miss brushing or, you know, use X amount of drug, like I don't know, a bunch of stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
But to answer the question, I believe that it should be like 4 times, like every 3 months would be a good, maybe more or less.
Are you guys not accounting that some people don't have health insurance?
That was exactly what I was gonna bring up.
I was gonna bring that point up. You know,
Everybody claiming that was the next thing.
No, I honestly was gonna bring that point up. The reason why I was gonna bring that point up is because I know that is gonna be the number one thing that they're going to be saying.
Which is,
you know what I'm saying? As far as
I mean, but
that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm asking personally, just out of spite, like if that was the case. If health insurance was more affordable, if
it was
universal, would we still be having this conversation?
Okay, so one big factor in that
is if.
So one part of it has to do.
Hypothetical.
Like we have a fucked up history.
That's true.
With American healthcare in this country.
That's true.
From the Tuskegee experiments. I mean, even the fucking utensils that the gynecologists use, like those were developed and experimented on with slave women. Like we've never had
that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Even when you go to the doctor now, it is still taught that black people can take more pain. They prescribe us less pain management meds and all that type shit. And so for me, I'm very skeptical when I go to the doctor.
It's so crazy to me that like we as a people will be so freaking skeptical about it. Now I understand where you're coming from. What I'm like, the reason why I brought it up in my mind is because I want us to bring this into more discussion with us people as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like I think we should be talking about this more. I'm not necessarily saying it was like, yo, everything has to happen overnight and we need to have universal health care right now. It's like, no, that's just not how shit works. I already know that. But I would like to get everybody's insight on why we are so skeptical about going to...
I feel very unsafe with a white doctor. I feel very unsafe from... Over the last 20 years, how organs are harvested. I mean, that was like a big thing in L.A. Like, people were claiming their relatives' bodies and they're like, have already been organs removed and things like that because how valuable our bodies are, our genetics. When you have implantations, heart, lung, kidneys, ours takes better. Black organs have a less rejection rate. Our organs are more expensive on the black market.
Never heard about that.
Yeah, I'm very
this is new to me.
Safe. I feel unsafe. You know what I mean? And the fact that even when it comes to like experimentation and shit like that, like there are so many experiments that have been done on this in this country. The only reason why we even fucking have syphilis is because in Tuskegee, they told us it was free healthcare screenings, and they shot them all up with syphilis to monitor the transmission through the black community.
Yeah.
But that's why I've kind of always been like, you got a Malcolm and a Martin. I'm on the Martin side. I don't want to go to your hospital. You don't even view me as a human being. I don't want to put my life in your hands.
And see, this is what I wanted to bring light into the subject. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to kind of get everybody's perspective on what's going on with this. You know, because a lot of people don't talk about it. A lot of people would talk about it, but a lot of people would try to keep it under wraps as much as possible. It's like a lot of people wouldn't try to bring this to the light of that Tuskegee experiment and us not feeling safe with white doctors. You know what I'm saying? We had some black doctors where we still feel as safe, or we don't know. Like we honestly, it's like we honestly don't know, and that's why I wanted to bring that to light. Like I feel like the more we talk about it, the more we can not necessarily come up with a solution, but just come up with okay, what would I want as far as my health goes? What kind of doctor will I want to see, or what kind of goals will I want to have?
Better get your ass an Orisha. take
A
your
what?
ass to her and let her fix you
A
up.
what?
And Arisha, like, sanctity and shit like that, you know.
I'm new to this. I'm new to this.
Some natural healing.
Yeah, like, well, in the rest of the country, black folks are, I guess you would say, like, voodoo and sanctuary is kind of really embedded into the culture.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't eat a woman's spaghetti. Put a boiled egg in a sock and nail it in the ceiling. Don't let her get a hold of your drum. You know, all these little things.
The superstitions.
But that's where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? But now, I do want to ask Dr. Frankenstein, the one who's going to be a doctor someday. How do
He
you
ain't gotta be
feel
doctors.
when it comes to knowing that the profession that you're going into specifically does target you as an
That's a good question.
experiment?
That's a very good question.
When you say experiment, what exactly? When you said, my bad. Can you rephrase the question? I didn't know.
How do you personally feel, or just put it like this, how do you personally feel knowing that you're going into a field that systematically is a danger to your life and your people's life?
That's a lot.
Personally, I have not considered that thought process, only because when I am thinking about going into the medical field, when I tell myself I'm going to go into the medical field, and as I pursue the medical field, I'm not thinking so much about myself. I'm thinking about the patients that I can help. Like, majority of the time when I tell people, hey, I'm going to become an orthopedic surgeon, they're like, okay, well, hopefully I'm alive when you do become it, because I'm going to reach out immediately to you and you're going to be my doctor no matter what. Like, that's the first thing I hear out of people's mouths when I'm letting them know, like, this is the career that I'm pursuing.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, I haven't thought about that yet. That's something that I need to consider, I guess, more so or not. But I think about other people. I'm thinking about who I can help and how I can affect their lives. The good I'm trying to bring.
I think that's the actual answer. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you get into being like a doctor and knowing that there are, you know, systems that systematically destroy us. The fact that it's like, yo, I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about taking care of my people, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to take care of my people. I think that's kind of the retraction, like the actual answer to that question. You know what I'm saying? So,
for me, I just hope, you know, when things come up, because a lot of times when we're in certain professions, when things come up, you are personally put in a position to make a choice between keeping your profession or doing the right thing.
right. Ooh,
And that's a hard one.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, whether you're a doctor, a cop, or whatever, there's a lot of times, man, where us as black people in this country are really putting ethical binds on, do I keep my job or do I blow this shit up? Do I blow the whistle? Do I do the right thing in this situation? And sometimes people do, sometimes people don't. A lot of times it depends on your life situation. You know what I mean? Because even as a private physician, like, insurance is hell of expensive for malpractice insurance. And even running a practice, so sometimes it's like, oh shit, I really can't afford to make the right decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even when we look back through the movie that Oprah just put out about Henrietta Lacks and what they did to her and how they stripped her genetics to produce all of these vaccines and shit, left the family in destitute. Like, there were black medical professionals throughout that whole thing that could have said something, could have done something, and they didn't. You know what I mean? And that whole experiment and her whole shit was just, you know, her whole life was just allowed to be just stripped away.
That's crazy.
And just nobody did nothing.
That's crazy.
You know.
That's crazy. I mean, I wanted to bring light of the situation just because of where my health is at now. You know what I mean? And I'm not necessarily saying we need to. Like that was my honest opinion, but at the same time, like I just wanted to get everybody's insight on what how they feel about just their overall health in general. Like I just wanted that. I asked these questions, and I don't mean to try to be so forward and trying to say you should do this. Like, nah, it's not the fact that you should.
Nah, nigga, you
but
should get yourself checked.
I feel the checkups are like definitely important.
Yeah,
like
most
for
definitely.
sure. Like my grandma, rest in peace, she never was the type to go to the doctor. Her husband, my grandpa, died when I was like 3 years old. It was their first time visiting America, and he passed away from a heart attack because he never went to the doctor. He smoked heavy cigarettes, like heavy smoker, and he was gardening in our yard, and he got a blood clot broke off in his heart, and he just died like instantly in our yard. But after that, she became real quiet, like mind her own business, never went out. She just I feel like my grandpa was like the love of her life, so she kind of just like went downhill after that. And so she never went to the doctor, she just went to work every day. And then one day she had some issues. She went in, she had stage 3 colon cancer, and they gave her like a year to live, and she literally died like in a year, like right on the dot, as they said. And it could have been totally avoided if she just went in earlier, and when they caught that tumor, they could have just taken it out, but she never went. So that shit is important for sure.
See, this is the crazy part. So it's like, you going to get checked up and stuff like that. But then what you were saying is like, yo, I don't feel safe around these doctors.
Yeah.
Man. It's like they could probably diagnose. I'm not saying they'll probably diagnose her with something wrong, but it's like some random person, they'll probably diagnose that person with some wrong shit.
They've amputated the wrong limbs in surgery before.
Man.
Speaking of, they have diagnosed children. Like, say, for instance, there's a child, mind you, this person's a child.
Word.
I've heard multiple stories that they've diagnosed children with like ADHD or like, some very big time disorder or diagnoses, and that stuck with the child for the rest of their life. And it's like, no,
affected their mental.
The only reason why that person was hyper is because they're a child. They haven't even gotten to be able to move into the adulthood and like calm down and whatnot. They're just throwing this diagnosis on them. They're taking all these, now this kid is taking all these pills, or like mentally in their head they keep telling themselves, oh, I have ADHD, and if you keep telling yourself that mentally, that's going to affect you for the rest of your life. And that and then every time a doctor looks up your records, they're going to see, oh, this child has X, Y, and Z. So that's how they're
lean towards
and that's how it's all gonna, that's how their procedures and whatnot are going to be fixed. So it's like, I don't.
Yeah, like
I don't think that's chill.
I had to start dealing with that early because like my 12-year-old, he does have ADD, right? But because I was a counselor for so long and I have clinical experience, I knew he really had it. I knew there was a chemical imbalance. You know what I mean? It took a while for me to get his mom to understand that. Because, she's got that, ain't nothing wrong with my baby and blah, blah, blah. But as we got him to see counselors and stuff, and these white folks was telling her, then she was like, oh, okay. But there was a time to where I'm like, listen to him. Like, he would get frustrated, he would cry, and he'd be like, I can't play, I can't think. Like, the frustration of his mind going 100 all the time and not being able to focus was so bad, he couldn't just even play with his own toys. You know what I mean? And it was getting real bad. And I'm like, no, but because I had clinical experience, when she finally got on board and we was able to get him to see a doctor and start getting him on his medication, I had a lot of experience professionally with, we start off on 2 milligrams and then we work up because they wanted to start them off like on 20 milligrams. This is what we're going to do. We're going to start off at 2 milligrams. It's going to take about 2-3 weeks for it to integrate and acclimate in his system. And then we're going to watch him for 2 months on that. And then if that's still not effective, then we'll go to 5 milligrams.
Exactly.
And I think that's like another thing about the healthcare system is that there's a lot of people who are just not aware of anything medical, and they just solely rely on the professionals to tell them what's wrong with them. Like, I have a friend, her name is Anib. Her husband died about 3 years ago from leukemia, but because she didn't know anything about anything medical at all, honestly, she couldn't even tell us that her husband had leukemia because she honestly didn't know. She was like, yeah, he has some blood disorder and blah 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 blah, but she just like, I feel like more could have been done for him if she just was more aware about anything medical.
Yeah, if she was actually like doing some research.
Yeah, and I feel like they take advantage of that and then just kind of use your ignorance towards that topic to their advantage to just, you know, get rid of him or do what they want to do.
I think that's like I mean, this is like completely off the medical, the whole medical aspect, but I think like when I think of that, I think of like car dealerships doing the same thing. Like when you're trying to go get your car fixed, and like say for instance if it's a lady, like going in, or if it's like a fella that doesn't know like what he's talking about or something, then they'll just like, oh, this is wrong with your car, and then charge you X amount of dollars, just large lump sum amount of dollars for shit.
Nigga, it's America. It's about the hustle and con. Like all our economic structures and companies and shit really work on that. Like to con you into something. You know what I mean? And it was fucked up as it does trickle into our healthcare shit.
Yeah.
Conning you into shit. Where else do you just get free drugs?
The American dream. The American dream. I'm just saying.
And it's just twisting it so it all depends on your awareness, and then that is going to be the deciding factor of how well you're going to get taken care of.
Especially when it comes to your health. I feel like that's way more important because it's like I was told as a youngin', like from growing up, the only two things that you will be able to afford in life and in death, like when you're born and when you die, is a doctor and a lawyer.
Oh, and sometimes you can't afford that shit.
Yeah, and it's like, and even in the instance of that, what Rob said, you can't even afford that. And so I'm like, if I can't afford it per se, well, we have so many resources as far as the media goes and media outlets and everything like that. Research some of these things. Like I want to
see that's dangerous because you got people who get on Google,
bloggers.
And, man, they get to researching shit. They may have gout, but they at the end of the day researching some shit. They got cancer and some old other shit.
But let it be a start. And then like
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is horrible. Wikipedia is horrible.
Scholarly articles.
Not necessarily.
WebMD.
But letting it be a start. Yeah. Letting it be a start. Going out there and talking to people. This is like, that's why I was like, I want to just ask people questions like, yo, where's your head at with this? You know what I'm saying? Let's really open the table. Let's have this discussion. Let's talk about it. Now, mind you, it's not set in stone. Like I don't think right now it's set in stone. That's why it's just like I just want to ask the questions, just to see where everybody's perspective
I mean,
is at,
sometimes you just gotta make people aware because a lot of people are so set with their pace of life. You know, they're just running through life. They're not. And that's me.
Yeah. And that's me. I call it a frisbee. I'm throwing it up there. I'm just gonna see who catches it. If you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, you don't. But at the end of the day, it's still all good because I'm still gonna try to be throwing that frisbee up there to see if you catch it. You know what I mean?
You know what else is very important?
What's up?
People say that you gotta go get your checkups and whatnot. What about the immunizations?
Hold on. Wait, before you get on that, because I was trying to segue to that, but what he was saying, I just have this last thing to say. Trigger warning. So my overall real opinion on healthcare and checkups is
everything else he was saying was BS.
No. I feel like if you have the wherewithal to care about yourself and look after yourself, that's good. But on the other hand, we have way too many people. We got way too many fucking people on this planet, and I think it's unhealthy for the planet to try to make sure that every fucking person lives a long ass life. That's not a necessity.
But your word of the day was empathy.
But I was gonna say, Bobby, you just said
Your word of the day was empathy.
Time out. So
I'm a very empathetic person.
I understand where you coming. I definitely understand where you coming from with that. But at the same time, we're all grown here. So let's put it like this: if I put that in your into your palate, and you still don't take it, guess what? You still don't take it. So if you don't want to live that long life, that's on you. It's all about the instances of choice. So it's like if I bring this to Young D and I say, yo, what do you think about your health? If Young D was like, yo, get the fuck out of here, I don't want to talk about that. I'm like, hey, yo, it's all good. I'm gonna still bring it up to him, and if he still don't want to talk about it, then guess what? I'm not gonna bring it up again. If you say don't bring it up again, at the same time, your life is your life. Your life is your life, and your life is your life. I'm saying honestly and personally, if I bring this up, just in the instance of bringing it up, like, what will be the cases of us just having that discussion?
word up, son. Word, son.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true, but like I said, I'm conflicted.
Man, real, son.
I want everybody to have a good, healthy life, but I don't want all these people on the planet.
I was gonna say Bobby was the same dude that said we should start shooting each other.
And listen,
No, I'm not for like any of the
you see what I'm
perks.
saying?
Oh, he just wants people to die off.
No, but I mean, like,
He wants a Black Plague X2.
No, we're at the same time. I respect. Listen, I respect where you're coming from with that. You know, at least you're honest about it. It's like I want everybody to be honest about this situation. At least you're honest. At least you're honest in saying that, yo, we have way too many effing people. We should. I mean, not everybody should just be getting checked up like that.
The most honest reality is the amount of people that we have living on this planet are only alive because of our advancements in technology.
Of course.
Oh, of course.
We have a population of people, like most of these people on the planet really shouldn't be alive. Because
that's also true. That's also true.
No, I'm serious. Within the last 100 years, we have begun to allow people to live who would have not made it before.
That's true.
You couldn't feed yourself. You couldn't clothe
Plus,
yourself. You just couldn't do whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
So with advancements, and when we do make these technological and medical leaps, we don't really account for we're adding another 10 million, 20 million, billion people to the planet. What do we do with the fuck all these people?
Yeah, them are some numbers, man.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a billion motherfuckers in China.
Yeah.
Hey, they just lifted that one-child ban, though.
Yeah, and now what you think?
So okay, so I'm
babies?
misinformed on the one-child ban because somebody explained to me
China.
what that is.
You can have one kid.
Only one kid.
And this is what's fucked up about that. In Chinese, and I'm not going to say all Chinese culture, but in the prevalent Chinese cultures, boys were seen as more valuable. So like if a woman was having a girl, they would abort, or if she ended up giving birth to a girl, they would kill it to keep trying to have a boy.
Well, no,
That's why their population of boys to girl ratio is off the fucking hook.
So I understand that part, but like the one child ban, like there was an actual ban on just having one child?
Oh, like you could only, like you couldn't have any more than one child. Oh man.
Like,
but
mainland China, the amount of people, like their land could not really sustain the population, and they had to think ahead of, we have to start restricting the number of children born because we can't, as a country,
that's where I was trying to get.
And land cannot handle this.
Okay, so that's where I was trying to get.
Yeah.
That's the instance that I was trying to, like, that's why I was asking the question about the one child ban. I wasn't necessarily saying, I was like, I know there's a billion people, I know there is, like, but there's like some property value or anything like that had the instance.
Check this out. This will fuck you up. If you take a map of the United States, see, the United States had integrated.
Hella big.
No, check this
Not
out.
that big.
Has integrated a way to control our population. If you look at a map of the United States, 70% of the United States is empty. It's empty fucking land. Our cities are constructed in a way we feel like it's a lot of people. We feel like we're crowded. But
I
even
feel
if you
that-
look, if you go from city
Listen,
to
I
city
feel
here,
that. Listen, I feel that in Portland. I feel that in Portland. Everybody was like, "It's a city within the country." I'm like, "You goddamn right," because every time I go in the outskirts, I don't see shit, bro.
Oh, there's nothing in the middle of Oregon. There's
California,
nothing.
60% of California
don't
is just
see
parks
shit.
and rec land. It's empty parks and rec.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Because if you drive from the Bay Area to LA, which is like a 6.5 hour, 7 hour drive, even when you go in Fresno, Bakersfield, like it is so much emptiness in between these cities. And when you go from the West Coast to the East Coast, the majority of the country is empty. So this is how the United States has been able to keep the population at a certain point and keep our resources at a certain level, because you're not allowed to just really breed the fuck out all the way across this goddamn country.
That's
The United States government owns most of the country through parks
in recreation.
and recreation. It's federal parks and recreation land. You can't buy it. It can't be sold, and you can't build on it. The only time shit gets sold is they will, every once in a while, parcel out certain chunks of land in Parks and Rec because it's not generating, or there's no endangered animals or some shit there, and then they'll sell that shit. Or if it has been affected by like fracking or mining off somewhere and the shit has trickled down to this piece of land, then they'll cut it off Parks and Rec and sell it off.
All right, word. I
But
dig that.
back to you with the
Immunizations.
immunizations.
Yeah, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
You want to make all the babies autistic and retarded.
No, that's
Oh my goodness.
not what I was saying. I was
Is that what he was saying for real, or is that what you just?
my dude. I was referring to like flu shots and whatnot. I was referring to like one of my parents, but like is strongly against going to get the shots because they think, or to their knowledge, that a lot of that is
Conspiracy?
Yeah.
or a lot of that is injecting the disease or the whatever into you, and it's only just making you sick, and that you're gonna get sick from it and you could die. And
But they're half right.
crap.
Okay,
The
so
flu shot is putting the flu in you.
Yeah,
You
but
have a
it's
50% chance of
it's
getting
not
sick.
active though.
I know,
It's a
but
small amount.
There's always a 50% chance that it
Well,
can become active and you get the flu.
True, but that's the whole point of immunization. You have to do that to get
Yeah.
immunized. So,
it's a
and
very
also,
interesting topic, man.
you know, immunizations like in society, and I think I heard about this in like New York. It was a problem because there's like a lot of parents in New York who don't want to vaccinate their kids, and when you don't, like, let's say they vaccinate them for what's like a childhood.
Polio.
I was scratching the side of it, but I know you be in your nose.
I don't never be in my life.
I
Polio vaccine.
yeah. Let's say polio. So stop.
That's foul.
Now, what about if he'd have had a booger on the tip of his fingers?
That would never happen because I don't have no boogers in my nose.
She ate her booger.
Whatever.
Lies.
He like it when I eat it. That's why he keep doing that.
Okay, listen.
Anyway, I was talking about polio. He trying to get in my nose.
So, we have an increase in polio now.
Yeah, and I think because I read about this once, and I probably am kind of rough on the explanation, but when like groups of communities get vaccinated, it creates like a barrier, because if everybody is vaccinated, if there is any breach in that, like, since everybody's protected, like, it won't break through. But if there's just like a couple kids here that don't have the vaccination, a couple kids there that don't have the vaccination, that's when shit really starts to spread. And so when these parents are saying, oh yeah, I don't want to vaccinate my kids, like, you are not only putting your own kid at risk, but like a bunch of other kids, because it's like a whole web. It's like an interconnected web, and that's how they create like the barrier.
You know why that happens? White supremacy. And let me tell you how I connect that shit to white supremacy.
All right, let me know.
You got these white Gwyneth Paltrow ass people talking about how immunizations cause autism.
Yeah,
cause mental
it's always that
shit.
white mom.
you have to have a supremacist belief in yourself to go, with my high school fucking diploma, I know more than this doctor.
Exactly.
With my limited fucking medical understanding, I'm gonna let this goddamn movie star or Instagram influencer tell me what the fuck to do with my kid. If you do not get your kid vaccinated, you're a fucking moron.
Exactly.
Because the fact is, like when I said polio, motherfucker, ain't nobody had polio since like...
Yeah, it's like eradicated, yeah.
Now you bringing it back because you let Gwyneth Paltrow play some stupid shit. That's
real shit.
Look, check this out. My kids all vaccinated. The fact is, you will always have a certain population of people that will suffer negative effects, whether it's vaccinations, medications, whatever. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. It's collateral damage. As a human species, we have to be able to take that. The medical advancements we have now is because there's always a margin of error.
Right.
And those people they're the martyrs for this medical advancement.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? And it's got to happen. So if you vaccinate your kid and it gets autism, get them a good counselor, get them into a good school, and push on. Because for every one kid that may get whatever from it, there's 100,000 kids that would be protected. And that's just how shit works. That's a reality people don't want to accept. I'm not gonna lie, man, when I've took my babies to get vaccinated, there is that fear, oh, please, don't let my kid be the one.
Right.
But I still gotta do it because even though there's a chance that there's a negative reaction to this, there's a 95% chance that it's a positive reaction and it does what the fuck it's supposed to do.
Yeah,
and then I don't want to send my kid to school with all these other fucking moron ass parents, kids, to have my kid catch some shit because you didn't want to vaccinate your kid.
And then like another thing. Oh, my bad.
No, it's a catch-22 all around when it comes to immunization shots, because it's like either way you're gonna have that feeling of like knowing like, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all good. No, go ahead, say what you.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, on another note, regarding parents and not taking care of their kids based off their beliefs. One thing that just really just irritates me is when, I think it's most of the time it's like those Christian families where, let's say their kid is like dying of whatever disease or cancer, and they're saying, yeah, we're gonna heal them with prayer, and we're gonna pray by their bedside while they fall into this despair of this disease, and they're just praying by their bedside and saying, no, this is, the Lord will save her. No, your kid needs antibiotics, like they're going to die.
No, their kid needs that prayer. We don't need those genes. And that bloodline right there. And that bloodline right there. Right. Stop.
But I feel like that shit should that should be child abuse. Like that should be child neglect. I don't know if anyone's ever been charged based off. They have been. Yeah. They have been. Thank God. You know, but
states, they do have laws that if your child is in imminent danger of death or whatever, right? You know what I mean? Like a doctor or physician can intercede on that. Like if your child is like actively in the throes of death and you're like, oh, we're going to pray this out. Like they can make some other, me personally, see, this is the thing. Even for me, I tell people all the time, I tell anybody who's connected to me in my life, if you believe in God, I do not do CPR and first aid for you at all. Never. It is very disrespectful. I stand on that.
What?
I understand what you're saying. It's kind of extreme, but
no, this is new to me. Now, time out. This is new to me. I've never heard this before.
I get what you're trying to say.
Say it again.
If you believe in God, I do not do first aid and CPR or any rescue measures on your behalf. I find that it is disrespectful to that person.
So, see, you believe in God as far as the Christian aspect goes?
I have no God concept whatsoever. But if somebody tells me, oh, I'm a Christian, and I know that about them, and we're friends or we're around each other, I do make them aware. If something happens to you, I will not intercede.
So, like, even a Muslim. So, Muslim, if something happens to them, you just not gonna do anything?
Why would I do something?
What if they told you, like, by the way, if I'm dying, like, please resuscitate me, even though I am Muslim?
Like, what if they asked you?
I'm good, because you shouldn't be asking me. You should be praying to whatever magic man you look up to. He's the creator of your life. He dictates all of that. Talk to him. Don't talk to me.
I feel like that's.
I'm not nowhere
extreme.
in that equation.
Sometimes
I feel like that's just a bit extreme.
Listen. Well, sometimes Bobby goes like far left.
And then other times,
Is this that far left thing that y'all was talking about on the other podcast?
His reason.
Is this that black and white thing?
What is your religion or spirituality?
I grew up Christian.
What are you? We all grew up. I grew up Catholic.
So I'm Christian.
You're Christian. God, Jesus, that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
What are you?
my mother is Muslim.
No.
You.
What do you believe?
I follow Islam, but I have not converted. But I do follow that.
I dig that.
Allah,
I dig that.
Yeah.
You.
I'm nothing.
Okay, so if y'all three motherfuckers passed out right now, I'd be giving him.
That's kind of fucked up, though.
No, it's not. And you know why it's not?
But it is. Okay, go ahead. Go. You say what you gotta say first.
This is the thing. If you believe in God,
no.
He
this is
or she or whatever you call it is in control of your life, not me. So don't tell me you believe in something, but then all of a sudden you don't believe when your ass is in trouble.
Okay, but here's another thing, and
No, can I?
Go ahead. Say
This is so. My perspective is this.
he's stressing.
I'm a man of God, but I'm also a man of the people. Like literally, like if I see somebody as like, and I know that I can help that person out, chances are I'm probably gonna help that person out, or chances are that person's gonna be like, hey, "Yo, can you help me?" I'm gonna be like, "Okay, yeah, cool." I'm gonna do, even if I don't know what to do in that situation, at least let me know. I'll call 911. 911 will be like, "Hey, yo, stick by this person, help this person out, keep yourself on the phone till we get an ambulance coming or something like that." But I'm not just gonna write somebody off like
That's
that.
cool, but
I
to
don't
me-
care. I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, or not. I just don't care. I don't let religion get in the way of that type of shit. I just don't.
So you don't respect
that's-
the person's belief system.
It's not even respecting the person's It's not even respecting the person's belief system. It's understanding that person's life is in jeopardy, regardless of what religion you believe
So you
in.
don't respect their belief in a God, in their God. When you believe you're a Christian, you believe.
Let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
So if that person is dying, is that person supposed to be dying? Do you know if that person's supposed to be dying?
That's between them and their God. See, this is where the conflict comes in. Everybody want to be like, oh, I believe in Allah, I believe in God. He's the creator, he's the Alpha and Omega, and he's all of this, and you know your life was written from beginning to end, and all of these things, and all this shit, and then be like, he's wrong. If your ass is dying, well, obviously that's when God want to take you home. Who the fuck am I to intercede in that?
But you kind of contradicting yourself because you was just talking about how everybody who's alive today, or not everybody, but like technology has a lot to do with that.
Yeah. See, me, I don't have a God concept. I'm into medicine. I'm into science. I'm into.
But there are plenty
Just
of people.
because,
there's
because I
plenty
look
of
at
people-
Islam. Oh my
Go
goodness,
ahead.
my apologies.
Back up.
Sorry,
there are
am I
plenty of
screaming into
people-
this?
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But
go ahead.
just because by the way, I have not converted, so technically
Converted to what?
Islam.
to convert to Islam, to like go
Is
into
that
a
what you
mosque.
grew up in?
No, I grew up with nothing.
Oh, and your mom converted.
Yes, my mom converted like 3 years ago.
Okay, because I didn't get the understanding of converted.
Oh, okay, yeah. So my mom, we grew up with like pretty much no religion, but then when she met some guy, she decided, oh, I like this religion, so she converted when I was a freshman. And then I just kind of follow it because everybody in my house does it, so I just kind of go by it too. But I have not converted because there's a lot of the stuff that I don't really agree with, so that's kind of partly the reason why I've never converted. I just kind of follow it. But what was I gonna say with that? Just because like I kind of follow Islam and I'm like, okay, I agree with these. I just kind of look at it as like morals and values that makes sense to me and I go by, but I don't think, oh, Allah is going to cure my leukemia. I don't think he's gonna resuscitate me anytime soon. Like
I'm seriously the same way with Christianity, and at the same time, I believe.
So what the hell is God then?
I don't know. I really don't. I cannot answer.
If he does not have the power to birth you, kill you, cure you,
so listen.
or any of that, what the hell is it?
So listen.
I don't know.
So listen. Those are questions that I have for myself as well as a Christian man. But at the same time, if the tools and the actual like know-how is there for doctors, even doctors being Christians, Muslims, whatever, like, don't you think they will want to be saving somebody's life too? Or so it's like, are you saying that Christians who are doctors are kind of like contradicting themselves as well?
Well, okay, so
is that what you say?
My opinion on religion is that
what you say?
Everybody who believes in God is a hypocrite. You believe that shit because you condition it, or you just follow it because you don't really think on your own. You don't know how to conceive life without this thing.
And that's your opinion, and that's the opinion.
But that's like a super extreme view on religion.
This is my question. So this is my question to you, though. My question to you is.
Yeah,
if you believe your God can't save you, why the fuck are you praying to?
I was gonna say, so I grew up Christian. I grew up Christian. I even got baptized. Right? And then as I began to, just go through life, I'm like, I'm believing in X, Y, and Z. Never seen this person. Never, like, what is this person doing? Like, I'm having all these, questions about, what's going on and how and why and when and blah, 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 right? And I'm like, especially for Christians, dude, a lot of that stuff is rewritten in X, Y, and Z. There's like, you can't. How are you going to account for?
Okay, so put this in perspective though. So I'm 33 years old, and at the same time, I'm in the same boat as you. Like I said, there's a lot of questions that I have for myself as well. You know what I'm saying? Like that's. What you was just saying, like what of the things that you were just asking me as far as like.
See Bobby's face.
Okay, so let me.
So wait, so take this into perspective, man. There's a lot of things that I ran into as far as just, is God really real? Well, you know what I'm saying.
You can't.
We know this.
Bobby, let him.
Do we really know this?
Yeah, we really know this.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Let him have an opinion. Damn.
See, this is the thing. Everybody's on this opinion shit. Concrete. It's not an opinion that concrete is hard. That's a fact. Everybody wants to go. Everything is an opinion. Nothing's facts no more. Fact.
I'm not saying that.
Check this out. This is what we know as fact. We know that the Holy Bible
has been rewritten.
No. Because you're talking about translations. We're going to root this out. We know that Constantine, when he came into power in Europe, that he put together to create the first monotheistic belief system in Europe. We know that the council that he put together was the birth of the first church, was the Catholic Church. We know that they took 90% of the Book of the Dead, the Egyptian belief system, to create the Holy Bible. We know for a fact nobody in the Bible was ever actually a living person. We know this for a fact. We know this. And we know that Islam is a derivative of Christianity that came 500 years after the establishment of Christianity. We know this for a fact. So when people get to talking about religion, you could be fucking talking about Harry Potter. It's just like, how do you not realize that what you're reading...
I agree with him.
is allegorical stories that's been
I
taken from a
agree.
whole
I
other
agree in a
belief
sense.
system.
I agree in a sense.
In a sense of what?
I agree as well, and that is your whole entire argument is the reason why I never converted, because I think about Islam and I'm like, yeah. But then when it gets to like the God or Allah part, I'm just like, I can't settle on it. I believe in evolution. I believe in the Big Bang. Like, I can't imagine this big ass guy in the sky molding Earth up and throwing clouds on top of it. Like, that just doesn't register in my mind. Like, I can't get past that. So I don't know if I'll ever come.
Religion is something that is perpetuated by ignorance and poverty, right? God, we know, we've tracked this all the way back to when man first constructed the concept of God. And why? Because man cannot explain certain things, so it is put to God.
Yeah, so back in the day, they created it.
Hold on, you're interrupting. Wes has his hand raised. Yes, Wes?
Oh, we're raising our hands now? All right.
Thank you. You make some solid points. Like you make.
But that's history, nigga. That's not a point. That's not
He said, "Fact of
you know what I'm
opinion."
saying? That's what
Everybody- oh my goodness.
Oh, that's a good point.
But listen to what I'm saying, though. Yes, you have the history, but I'm stating it from the perspective of my life and what I went through. I'm not sitting here saying that everything that's coming out of my mouth is honest facts and literally you need to believe this. What I'm saying is you are bringing this information to me that's fairly new to me. I've never heard of this shit before. Right? Right. I've never heard of
Right.
Listen, honestly.
Okay, that's
honestly. No, that's okay. It's okay. No, Bobby.
For the listeners, I need to do this apology.
No, that's okay. Okay, go ahead.
Because people are listening.
For the viewers.
So I do need to apologize because I do sometimes tend to assume that everything I know, everybody else knows, and what everybody else knows,
exactly.
So, my bad. I apologize.
And that's what I'm saying. And what
You have to raise your hand again to speak.
No,
I don't. No, I don't.
So it's back to you.
No, but at the same time, you're bringing this information to me that's fairly new to me. Like, it's still like I gotta channel that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is because as I get older, my religion and my spirituality, my soul, it's really, really different. Because now I go from everything religion to now it's like, yo, what does my soul say? What is my soul speaking to this existence thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, that comes into play more than the religion thing. So I could be, it's not even the fact that it's like, yo, I call myself a Christian man. Yeah, I'm a man. It's like, I'm a spiritual man of God. But at the same time, I am a spiritual man of God. It's not even a religion thing anymore. Like, it's more of like, yo, if I'm different from you, if you are seriously dying, I will help you out. Now, mind you, if I'm dying and you don't listen, if I'm dying and you don't help, if I'm dying and you don't help me, then guess what? That's you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it is. I'm not gonna sit.
Be like, pray, nigga. Pray harder. Keep praying. Okay, so let me spill.
he passed out on the floor.
At the same time, just from the just understanding that, like, feelings wise, like emotional wise, it sounds like some foul shit. But at the same time, what I was saying was,
get pissed off.
No, what I'm saying is that's your honesty. You know what I'm saying? It's your honesty. I'm saying it's a bit extreme. It's a hella extreme, but it's at the same time, it's like, okay, damn, like, he brought this honesty on me. This is like,
because
you know what I'm saying?
Now I do have to say this on the mic because it's been brought up on the podcast a couple times that I'm a Buddhist and I don't believe in God, and I've never really explained to my listeners why. So, give me a couple minutes to just spill this out.
Right.
So, you got the Holy Bible, you got the Quran, you got the Torah. You have an antagonist and a protagonist in these books, right? The protagonist, the devil, the evil one, right? This is the evil part of all three of these religions. Mm-hmm. Judaism, Islam, Christianity, right? God is the hero of the story, right?
Right.
So in this story, you have what? Is God good or evil? In
God
in the
is
Quran
good.
and in the Bible.
Yeah, in the
God
Bible, God is good.
right?
Of course.
And the devil is the spectrum of bad, right?
Right.
Now, the reason why I can't fuck with it is you can't sell me a story where the hero in the story is a fucking baby killer, a mass murderer, a fucking psychopath. I can't roll with that. The hero, God in the story, this nigga has murked a whole planet. This nigga's drowned a planet. This nigga has burnt villages down. This nigga has murked babies without question. When you look at Moses and the Pharaoh, this is a monarchy system. None of the Egyptian people can tell Pharaoh shit. But God's way of pressuring it is, I'm going to kill every firstborn in this goddamn city. What the fuck these kids got to do with what this monarchy, this Pharaoh is the fucking doing? What logical sense does that make? And not only that, all of the people that died from dehydration when he turned water into blood. When he sent locusts to eat all the crops. You murked all of these innocent people, even with Noah and the flood. Nigga, travel back then, nigga, wasn't no email, wasn't no phone. You drowned, even though this event never happened, I'm just saying if it did in this story, you drowned continents that never even fucking heard of you. But you drowned them to drown the whole planet to start over. Sodom and Gomorrah. When you send these two angels to go talk to Lot to tell him to get his family out of the city, when the men in the city see the two angels go to his house, you tell these men, no of my daughters, these men are my guests and under my protection. First of all, you have two girls that are obviously virgins, unmarried, so they're under the age of 12, because 11 and 12 was the common age of marriage at that time. So you have children that are 11 or under and virgins, and you tell these mob of men outside your house to rape your daughters so they don't fuck with these two angels, that angels are supposed to be supreme beings with powers, but you gotta let your daughters get raped so these two niggas don't get fucked off? And I'm supposed to roll with that? The devil, if you read the Torah, if you read the Quran, you read the Holy Bible front to back, the devil has never actually once told a lie. He has never actually physically harmed anybody. He has never committed an act of murder. He has never made anybody do shit. Even when he told God, if you strip him from everything, he will curse your name. God said, bet my nigga, watch. God stripped all his money away. God cast his family away. I'm for real. God cast boils all over his body.
Yeah, he did.
To show the devil, which is something that he created. The devil is a creation. At any given point, he can poop you out of existence. But nigga, you in a bet with this motherfucker? Somebody who worships the ground you walk on, you put him through horrific pain to prove to a creation that you made that is a lesser being than you that you got it like that. Not only that, you tell another motherfucker who worships everything about you, take your favorite son to the top of the mountain and sacrifice him to me. To let this motherfucker get all the way up there about to commit an act of murder to be like, nah, I was just seeing if he was gonna do it. Nigga, really? I'm supposed to roll with that. I'm supposed to put my belief in that shit. And it's a fucking fact that 75% of Christians in America do not believe in Christianity in the Bible. They believe in Christianity from TV and movies.
Yeah.
And all the angels and all the shit that they see in movies creates their construct of what God and angels and all of this shit really is. And the fact that most Christians I know, everything they believe in is shit that's not even in the Bible. All these motherfucking believes that, oh, family members are in heaven and they're looking down on you and all that shit.
Or also
but
they
believe
in that heaven is like the clouds and blue skies.
Or not even that. But the fact is, in the Bible, it tells you everybody will be dead and in the ground and resting until judgment day, when all the dead will arise and all mankind will be accounted for. Nigga, your nana ain't in heaven guiding you. No, nobody's even in, if heaven and hell exist, and the Bible is the real word, nobody is in heaven or hell right now. Every person who has ever lived is still in the ground,
I see what you're saying.
resting until judgment day.
I see what you're saying.
And all of this shit.
I see what you're saying.
I'm supposed to believe this shit? I'm supposed to run with this?
I see what you're saying.
And every religion that has ever been created, all the miracles happen thousands of years before your lifetime. That is another tactic to attach people to this emotionally, but not expect any proof. That's why in Christianity and shit, they always say faith of a mustard seed and all of that type shit. But where does our global violence really come from? Christians, Muslims. Why? Because they believe they're fucking right. And they believe their side is right. So shit poo on you, you're an infidel, you're a black backslider, you're this, you're that. And they do whatever the fuck they want. Even in this country, most of the Republican shit that they try to constrict us with, they come from the Bible with that shit.
Right.
Abortion. Yeah, motherfucking abortion wasn't cool for you until your fucking mistress got knocked up. Then you try to tell this bitch, hey, we need to go to Planned Parenthood. Hold on, nigga, you just took everybody else's right to get an abortion, but your little side piece got knocked up, and you're like, bitch, get ready to take this trip down the stairs. Or this coat hanger. Like, no, like, what?
The coat hanger, man.
Come on, man, how many Republicans over the last 20 years against gay people, trying to fuck them off, but you get caught sucking dick in a goddamn bathroom? How many of these motherfuckers have pushed anti-abortion laws, but you making these side bitches get abortions? How the fuck are you still a valid political party in this country? And all your shit is based on religion and Christianity.
Don't forget about the popes who be touching little boys.
Now, I will say this, because I grew up Roman Catholic, there is no more harmful, traumatizing religion than the Catholic Church.
Uh-huh.
I ain't never got diddled by a priest, but I did fuck a couple nuns.
Ooh.
And let me tell you something. When you remove sex from a person's life, you will create deviance. You will create a lust and a desire for the shit that is unnatural.
Yeah.
You don't have no release. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of nuns get pregnant by the priest. They just get moved to different parishes. They get moved to fucking monasteries and shit to give birth to them fucking kids. You go to a Catholic orphanage, half of the fucking babies is priests and nuns' babies. These ain't dropped off on the fucking porch. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when it comes to like God and shit like that, you could be talking about Harry Potter. You could be talking about Holy Hamster Fred, whatever the fuck. Shit don't make no, you know what I mean? Like,
when I used to play volleyball a few years ago, the off season I would play club volleyball. And we used to have practice in this one private Catholic school.
Did you get diddled?
No, I did not. But here's the plot twist. It was in Sherwood. We would have practice in their gyms. And a couple weeks after that, we stopped having practice there. Everyone was like, why? Turns out, I don't know how, and I think it was on the news, but they found cameras in the little boy's bathroom. And so... But not in the girls, though. Just the little boys. And so after that, we just started having practice outside. I don't know. Yeah, it was wild shit.
But thank you for that. You know, not necessarily I agree with you or disagree with you, but it's like the fact that you brought the perspective on that, you know.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. I mean... I'm not sitting here saying that you're wrong. Amen. I'm not here, you know what I'm saying?
God bless.
Amen.
At any given point, you know what I mean? Like I said, this is new to me. Like, I've never heard these things before. When we was talking to the car, I said, I grew up hard Christian. I grew up hard Christian.
You know who
what I'm
saying? Set is?
No.
Okay, a Set and Asar, Greeks renamed them Isis and Osiris. They had a child named Horus. The story of Isis and Osiris and Horus...
Is Jacob...
No, is Mary, Joseph,
and Jesus, right? Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Predating any Christian, Islamic, Jewish belief system by 4,000 years. Now, how you gonna get me to believe in this when you can look back and go, no, but you just copied that shit. You just copied that. You never changed nothing. All the way down to 3 days. The only thing that changed was when they killed Horus, they tore his body apart and they spread his body to the four corners of the earth. It took ISIS 3 days to put his body back together and resurrect him.
Oh.
But born, prophesies, star in the east, 3 kings, child prodigy at 12, walked around with 12 motherfuckers. It's the same shit.
Sounds like I got some personal stuff going on, but I do got another topic that I do want to talk about.
Well, roll with it, nigga.
Modern day slavery.
Chattel.
Institutionalized.
Systematic.
So I today read this article about how there was a court hearing today that was passed too. The bill was passed or whatever was passed that now employers, companies, they have the full right that when you like sign on to their to the job, you sign off your rights to be able to make a
dispute
about your hours and your wages. So now, say for instance, I'm working 40-hour weeks. I'm only getting paid $1 an hour. You know, you can't send in any complaints about that. That's not a thing anymore. So
that just has to do with like institutional systematic slavery. Like that's just what it is. It's not, because modern day slavery is not, oh, you are my property, I bought you, now you're gonna do this for me.
Explain the bill again. Explain it again.
So it was a bill. It was. I don't even know if it was a bill. I don't know what the hell it was.
Court hearing.
It was a court hearing today.
Okay.
I saw it on Yahoo. Was it Yahoo Finance? I believe it was. Or hold on, let me bring it up really quick. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna bring it up. It was on Yahoo News.
Right.
I typically go with Yahoo Finance.
Come on,
that's
man.
That's why I brought that up. But so, big caption. Companies win big at U.S. top court on worker class action curbs. The U.S. Supreme Court delivered a blow to the rights of workers on Monday by allowing companies to require them to sign away their ability to bring class action claims against management agreements already in place for about 25 million employees.
Okay.
And then you go down, you scroll down, blah, 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 bunch of bull stuff. Here we go. Take it or leave it. Quotes.
Whoa.
Okay. Take it or leave it. Quotes.
Okay.
The court today hold enforceable these arm-twisted take it or leave it contracts, including the provisions requiring employees to litigate wages and hours claim only one by one. Right? Is that?
One by one. You said one by one, right?
Only one by one. So, what I'm understanding, she does not believe the ruling would apply to certain claims alleging discrimination on the basis of race, gender, religion, or national origin. But
they're busting up the class action lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, civil rights, title, blah blah blah, advocates, blah blah blah. Yeah, a whole lot of modern day slavery.
My question.
You can't. I'm working for you, right, Wes? You are my boss.
Word.
And you're paying me. I do everything around the entire company. I do this, I do that, this and that. I'm just working my butt off, but you're only paying me $1 an hour, for an example. You know, but I'm working 40 hours a week, and I believe I should be getting paid way more than this. You know, I should be able to get paid way more than this. Now, this hearing says I can't make no complaints about that. I've already, when I got hired on, I signed off my rights to be able to say, you know what, I can't even go and, talk about it to any of the courts or anything like that. It's just I gotta stick with it.
Man, they done took fine print to a whole new level, bro.
Okay. So, when it comes to that shit, we have a bad misconception in this country that you should be able to do that. But the fact is, when you sit in that interview, you're asking somebody to hire you.
Right.
They tell you what they're willing to pay you.
Yeah,
you accept that shit.
I was just about to ask that type of
so
question.
So it may seem like, oh, that's fucked up. If you don't want to take that wage, go get another fucking job.
Go find a job.
But what about the employees who are already hired on and they just reverse that? And so now, maybe they're stuck with the wage they got.
Good question.
Like Walmart.
Yeah. And so they were already hired on before this had happened. That's unfair to them.
For me personally, I know value. I know what, the wages and blah, blah, blah. So I already know the whole I'm sitting in an interview and I accept or decline. But I'm talking about for those that are listening and those that are already out there, like Young T said, that have already had these jobs for 6 months or a year or however long they've been in the job already. And so now, okay, yeah, I initially was told that, I've been paid this much, but now I can't even make a claim about it at all.
Now, is it the claim that I need more money, or you're not paying me the agreed upon wage? Because that's
it could be any. I mean,
because if you decide to take a job for like $14.50, and then you get your check and it says $10.12, that's a very different. Yeah. That's fraud. That's, you know what I mean, like.
Not according to them. They said
by the way,
wages and hours. So you can't make a claim about any of that. You can't ask for more wages, less wages, more hours, less.
Well, I got overtime in
honestly,
it. Honestly,
my question is,
what about overtime? There's plenty of people that have to hey, just work for this amount of time.
Stay after 3 hours.
Yeah, stay for another 3 hours, and then you just don't get paid for it.
Then my question would lie into, and I think this is just the open-ended question. Does this go across the table for all companies, or
yes, this is nationwide. This is every single state in the U.S. Every single one.
Okay, so I have a conflicting feeling upon this because for the majority of my life, I've never really gave a fuck about an employer and employer's wages. I grew up hustling. My mind is constructed on a hustler's mentality. You know what I'm saying? Even my job now is only 10% of my motherfucking income. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always really relied more on my ability to hand-to-hand make money, to make cash, to make moves.
Not everybody like that, though. Not everybody like that. And you gotta give other people the option to.
Do you really?
This says it's.
So you want everybody to hustle?
It's not about what I want. It's about choices. It's about what you choose to do yourself. We live in a society to where it's like you don't have the ability to do a fucking thing, and I'm gonna do it all for you. Which that's good, but at the same time, it's not a have to. Nobody gotta fucking do a damn thing for you. But when you are kind of stuck in this mind that other people have a responsibility to take care of me, it does kill your independent strive to make money, run your own business, and all of that type of shit.
This might apply, I guess this hearing also might apply more to Young T, because it says here, this dispute was primarily over wages and hours, but the ruling applies more broadly to the discrimination claims like those raised by women as part of the #MeToo movement, raising
sexual harassment,
raising awareness of sexual harassment in the workplace.
That's
but
actually
the court did not explicitly address that issue.
That's actually very funny because my manager just got fired like 2 or a week ago for like sexual harassment, and she was a woman, and she was just like, she was wilding. Yeah. That's all I can say. She was wilding.
And like another thing, for an example, I think this partially ties into it, but like the other day, Young T was telling me about.
I'll bleep that.
Yeah.
Young T was telling me about how she was working for X amount of hours, and I know after like 5 or 6 hours, you're supposed to get at least like a 15-minute break or something like that. the employers are supposed to, whoever the manager is of, that branch is supposed to come in and point to you, hey, after that last person you help, you need to stop and go and take your break. It is illegal for them not to do that. It's illegal for them to not let the employees go and take their break. However, Young T was telling me how she worked for X amount of hours, and she was trying to keep working and stay in the flow of things, but she was trying to stay.
We're gonna take a break and we'll be right back. So we are back from break, and you were saying
that. What was my thought process?
Young T, break.
Oh yeah. She was working, and she
had
just
like
didn't.
a 5-hour shift, I think.
I think it was
Five.
six.
It was.
Six,
I think it was
yeah,
6. Yeah, it was
6-hour
6.
shift, and she didn't get not one break. So it was like.
That's interesting. See, I'm very conflicted. Like, as an American, I believe we have laws, we have a constitution, we should follow these things, but at the same time, I'm very much
expand your thinking.
A humanist. We have certain human behaviors, we have certain ways that we do things. We have always suppressed another group, suppressed the people. We have always kind of fed off one another in some sort of way. In America, we have, when we created the corporation, and we made the corporation an individual, and we gave the corporation all these protections, we created an environment to where you got to be more savvy on the choices that you make. Now, what's sad is you're kind of conditioned and prepped from fucking elementary school to fall in line with this shit.
That's true.
Hidden curriculum. Oh, I gotta write that word.
Put that down.
I was about to say.
High school, you prep to go to college and find the best college so that you can go to college, and then when you go to college, it's like to figure out a career that you're gonna do for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like, you're prepped in college to do something for the next 50, 60 years until you retire. And then when you go into the work world, you're also conditioned to strive for a certain level of success. The suburbs, the wife and the 2.5 kids, the white picket fence and the new car, all of these things create what is called chattel slavery. It is debt. You have to work to keep paying these things and all of that. So in my life, I've made different choices. I never fucking buy a car with a car note. Nigga, if I gotta save up $1,500, $2,500 to buy me something, I own it outright. Period. I'm not making monthly payments.
Exactly
I've always kept some avenue of hustle that is cash business, that is under the radar of the IRS. I've always maintained to be more in control, and I spent a part of my life when I was married stuck in that chattel, because it's like, oh, I'm married, we have kids, now I gotta do this. You know what I mean? And falling into that, one of the best things that happened to me was my marriage came to an end and I was put back into the world single to go, oh yeah, none of this shit is making me happy. Now I get to make choices to reconstruct my life back to what made me happy and back to dealing with things in a way that I know that they should be done and making money the way I know it should be made and living just, everything I do is, if it don't make me happy, I don't do it. Period. From the job I work, how I make my money, the women I date, everything. If it does not make me happy, I'm not doing it, and I don't have a problem saying, nah, I'm good. You can keep that. I don't want it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think people in America or even on the planet really understand the concept. You don't have to do a fucking thing that does not make you happy. All the shit you think you have to do is something somebody else told you. It's an image that you're trying to reach that has been presented to you as this is success. This is where the fuck you need to go. I don't need to do shit but stay black, be happy, bust a nut, raise my kids, and make this motherfucking money and secure this goddamn bag. Period.
Go ahead and speak to him then.
I'm just saying.
How do you? So again,
But
let's go back to this. Go ahead.
Quit.
But some people, you are physically capable of quitting, but you got to think about, like, you are, but some people.
Fear. You're talking about that fear of losing your home.
Exactly. You're telling people, if you want to be homeless, be homeless.
No. Well, the fact is, nigga, if you quit your job, there's Catholic Charities, there's all these places that'll pay your rent. There's all these food pantries that'll we have the most well-fed and richest poor people on the planet. If you quit your job today,
that's true. Nobody starves to death in America.
One time, I will say this, when I was younger, wouldn't fire me because they didn't want to pay unemployment. Manager calls me in. Hey, we don't really like your attitude, blah, blah. You need to get your attitude together or we're going to take your hours and blah, blah. And I'm like, and they're like, well, why don't you just quit? No, because then you won't be able to pay me unemployment insurance. Well, we're not going to fire you. I'll spit dead in this goddamn face. Now, if you choose not to fire me, that's on you. But what you let me know is I can come in here every day and spit in your goddamn face. Nigga, are you ready to take that? And that motherfucker looked at me and said, you're fucking fired. Get the fuck out of my office. I was like, thank you. I love you. Bye. Because we have unemployment insurance. That's going to pay.
I thought you can't get unemployment if you get fired, though.
No. You can't quit and get unemployment. You can get laid off and fired.
Get laid off and fired and get
So, I thought it was the other way around.
If you get fired for your job,
he played the game.
You can get unemployment.
That's called judge season.
Services to help cover your bills and all that shit until you get another job.
Right.
You have options. The fear of starvation and the fear of losing your house really stops you from thinking about all the options you have laid out to you. You know what I'm saying? So you have options.
But so I have a question to that then.
Oh, and by the way, I pissed on another boss's desk one time.
I didn't even want to talk about that. So with the welfare system and everything that's going on, right?
World.
Do you want to treat that as a crutch?
It's not about a crutch. Well, yeah, it is a crutch. It's a temporary help.
Yeah.
It's temporary
but
assistance.
Basically what I'm asking is, do you want to solely just depend on that for the rest of your natural born life?
No, then that's not a crutch. That's not temporary. That's life. That's a lifestyle.
Okay.
The welfare system was created to be assistance. It was created to be temporary assistance to help you through hard times.
After the Great Depression, I think.
Yeah. So use that shit.
We might be in another one of those coming soon.
Honestly.
My shit gone.
Nigga, we went through a recession.
In
what
07.
This dumbass motherfucker's doing?
Yeah,
oh my god.
Check this out. This is the thing. I love Trump. And this is why I love Trump.
Interesting.
What?
Keep going.
Yeah. Please.
Trump ain't shit to us. He's a fear to the white folks. We've been through Bush, we've been through Reagan, we've been through Nixon. It ain't really been a president out there that just took us somewhere. Like Obama brought us out of a recession, and Obama was a very good image for us to look up to and strive to, and he was, this landmark thing. But Trump ain't nothing new to us. The fact is, as Trump fucks off this whole goddamn country, white folks are going to pay for that more than anybody. And this is one thing I always say. We've been poor. We've been through this shit. We know how to make it. Y'all motherfuckers don't know how to make it. Y'all motherfuckers been sitting up on a pedestal and have all this privilege and been able to run this country. When he fuck it off, what the fuck you gonna do? Because I grew up watching a goddamn, strong black woman feed a whole bunch of kids off very little. I know how to stretch some shit. I know how to get out there and make some money. It's just like the Great Depression. When you look at suicide rates, the suicide rates of whites was astronomical when run on the banks happened and the banks were shutting down
That's
and all
true.
that shit
That's
and
very
the stock
true.
market was crashing, white folks was killing because they did not know how to survive in that level of poverty. Now, poor whites, his base through the Rust Belt and the Bible Belt, they've been poor just as long as we've been poor. They're gonna make it. The middle class, the upper middle class, even part of the lower upper class, they're the ones gonna pay.
Yeah,
Gas ain't never
trying
been
to take
poor.
out- they
I don't
trying
know
to
what
take-
the fuck you gonna do.
They trying to take out the.
I can
middle
ride through a
class.
Trump era like a whatever. That shit don't mean nothing to me.
I think another.
I was honestly saying that too. I was pretty much like, I don't like Trump. I honestly don't like Trump. That's just me personally. I don't like Trump, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, we've been through this bullshit before. Like, we've been through this before, like, constantly. Even like, I was born in '84, so I got to see. Who did I get to see in '84 as far as the presidency goes? Bush.
Senior? No.
It was
Reagan.
senior. It was senior. It was Reagan, Bush Senior, Clinton,
Bush Jr.
Bush Jr.,
And then Bush
and
Jr.
then,
again.
and then Bush Jr. again, and then Obama. So it's like to see, the bullshit. I was just like, damn, that's, But I seen people use survival tactics and use, their brain in these type of situations. So to see Trump in office, I was like, damn, that's jacked up. But at the same time, my mind was like, oh, well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put my money where, in my pockets.
Let me get
And I'm
you
gonna
with
make
these
sure
economics.
But that's just like the systematic part of like what he's trying to do, like systematically in America. But like I feel like psychologically, he's trying to just divide us mentally.
He ain't doing You are implying that he has applied the plan. Trump is a fucking celebrity. He is running this country like it's a TV show because that's what he knows. He's been fraudulent his whole career.
That's
but let
true.
me hit you with this fact because people your age, I don't really think you understand why these older white folks are really fucking scared. Because when we went through Reagan, and Reagan actively put shit into play that was to decimate the black neighborhood and to decimate the people who were poor, right? Snatching all kind of resources, fucking up shit. But the fact is, all you did was you made Felix Mitchell, you made Frank White, you made Bumpy Johnson, you made Blanca, you made cartels, you made all these, because poor people, we are going to survive. We're gonna survive. But these motherfuckers who all they've ever known was a black card, what the fuck you gonna do? What the fuck you gonna do? You don't know what the fuck you gonna do. Cause when he fucks shit off for you, you're stuck. You are more in the system than anybody. Poor people, we live most of our life outside the system. How we gotta eat, how we gotta do things, how we gotta make shit happen. You know what I'm saying? So for us, Trump right now, another reason why he's scaring these motherfuckers is because he is an equalizer. What he will fuck off for them will take them down. And it will put them on a lot of equal footing with people that they see less than. Because Mexicans, Hispanics, their work ethic, their hustle will make them surpass you when shit collapses. You're looking at a people who can make something out of nothing. That's another reason why a lot of white people hate black people. We can make something out of nothing. Nigga, you gave me pig guts, I made chitlins. You gave me scraps, I made soul food. So we're gonna take a break and we'll be right back. And we are back on my tirade of Trump. So imagine yourself, right? You've had a level of privilege your whole life, right? And then you see this dude Trump come. And the shit that he's saying touches you emotionally because you see the power that your group has is slipping. And he gives you this feeling of you're going to get it back. But as you watch him traverse the globe economically and fuck shit off, now you're scared because you go, damn, we have all of these fucking niggers and spics and all these other motherfuckers in the country that come through and make something out of nothing, and I cannot compete with that. That's where the fear comes in. you get afraid when you look at these people that you look at less than you, but they got more skills than you. It's just like how the fucking union was made after Jim Crow. After slavery, you release a whole group of people that have all the fucking skills. They have all of the fucking skills. Now they're out employing you, but you look at them as nothing. When they constructed the union, that was a way to filter out blacks from getting employed. Because what happens, anybody ever been in a union hall? You got this fucking board where you get on the union board and it's a good old boy shit. So matter of fact, to even go in, a lot of times you gotta have somebody sponsor you so you can be an apprenticeship. How the fuck do you get these companies that are owned by white people that don't fucking like you to sponsor you to teach you a goddamn trade? And even if you know the trade and you like, fuck it, I gotta become an apprentice because I know the trade, I'll get through this shit quickly. Even if you make it through that, even if you get a company to sponsor you, when your name hits that goddamn union board, now you got these fucking other people that is in control on if your ass go out on the job or not. So the union kept blacks out for a long fucking time. That was a resurgence for white dollars and white empowerment during that time. But that was also the time to where blacks fell back, and that's when Black Wall Street and all of these other black towns were created and we were rising. And then when they started fucking blowing that shit up and burning that shit, we had to now flood back in to white society, which they wouldn't let us in. That led to the civil rights movement of, yo man, we need to go to your hospitals, we need to go to your schools, we need to work with you because you keep burning our shit down and we don't have nothing. So Trump embodies all of this shit. Now you got these white nationalists and these fucking neo-Nazis coming out the woodwork. Mm-hmm. And for me, I don't give a fuck. You a shark, I'm a shark. I understand you scare most black people, but nigga, I got a higher white body count than a black body count. So when these motherfuckers come out the woodwork, as much as a pacifist as I am, nigga, you not eating me. You're not eating my kids. You're not gonna eat off me. That's not happening. So that shit don't scare me. And for every 10 black homes, it's one nigga per 10 black homes that feels the same way and can move and operate the same way. Mm-hmm. We still got grandmas around this motherfucker who know how to teach skills. We still got grandfathers around this motherfucker. We still have an elder class that can teach us as shit goes bad. And maybe I have a privilege. It get too bad, I'm going back to my island. And I'm gonna sit my ass on my island until these motherfuckers over here get it right. Which I doubt they ever will, but that's just my opinion.
I'm going back to Brazil. Father. Wow, that was great.
But what part of that entire thing you just said makes you like him? Because you opened originally with, I like him.
He's the equalizer. Why would I hate a motherfucker who's gonna take my oppressor down? He ain't taking me down. He ain't taking my people down.
I get what you're trying to say, but it's just he going about it in a fucked up way, if that's what you...
How do you politely kick a motherfucker in the nuts? When you look at all of the cases that he has against him when he was still just a developer, 90% of those small businesses he fucked over were white companies.
But I don't think his motive and what he's been trying to do or whatever he's doing up in that White House, I don't think his motive is, I'm gonna knock off the white man, because he is a white man. So he's doing that shit by accident, pretty much.
No. See, this is the whole thing. Like my father's side, they're very affluent. I've had to sit in these country clubs and shit like that. When you reach a certain level, matter of fact, to all the listeners out there, watch Billions, because you'll really see it. When you have these great whites with other great whites, they feed on one another. So yeah, there is this thing, this racial issue in this country, but that is a battlefield for the poor.
Yeah.
That keeps poor whites, poor blacks, poor Mexicans at odds with one another. But when you cross over that other line, there is a different predatory game going on. It ain't that I'm gonna knock these white people down, but he's hungry, he's greedy, and the money that he gets and eat off of has to come from the other sharks around him. So as
I
he's
understand what
eating
you're
these
trying to say.
motherfuckers up, even the way that he deals with Putin and Russia and the business deals that he's got to do in other foreign countries, and even how, nigga, fuck the White House, I'm in Trump Towers. I'm earning a paycheck from Trump Towers because the government has to pay Secret Service to watch me, but then that shit has to trickle down into my company through my building. Donald Trump was making $1.2 million a day by staying at Trump Towers. Checks that were cut to his company because he was staying there. The money that he has to eat, he's eating them. He ain't eating me. He ain't eating my money. You know what I'm saying? I make my money in cash and in rubber bands.
Shoebox.
He fucking them up.
Straight
And
shoebox.
he's equalizing them. It's just like the Great Depression. Everybody looks at all these stock market, stockbroker, and bankers and what they were going through, but nobody ever asked black people how did you feel to watch all these white people at a bank that took all their money like they took your money? Because there's been a lot of times where banks will just seize black dollars, close accounts. For us to sit there and watch a whole bank take 1,000 white people dollars, you want to go, oh, that's fucked up, but at the same time, you're like, you better learn how to cook potatoes, bitch. You better learn how to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell you what laws fuck with me. I got mad when they fucked off the goddamn paper bags in the store. Every nigga on the planet know 101 things we did with them goddamn plastic bags. Now I gotta get paper bags. Now I gotta, that's the type of shit that fucks with poor people. You know, the laws that really fuck with poor people that we maneuver in is not even the same laws that these motherfuckers blink an eye at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, look, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. As I watch him govern this country, I applaud.
You said Kanye is not crazy.
Stay hungry, my nigga.
Man, we could talk about that shit.
Because you ain't eating me, you ain't eating my people, and even the shit that he's doing to Hispanics is fucked up and he's splitting families. But what the fuck are all the Hispanics gonna do? They strong as fuck. They're gonna, as they get deported, they gonna do the same shit that they did to get back up here. They're gonna get home, they're gonna work their ass off, they're gonna pull their resources, and they're gonna make that motherfucking trip again. You can't hold down real gangsters, man. You can't hold down real hustlers. Poor motherfuckers, we gangsters, we hustlers. Knock that private school motherfucker out of his school and send him to a public school and watch that motherfucker slit his wrist.
Yeah, he'll crumble.
Take that goddamn trophy wife, that blonde hair, blue-eyed trophy wife, and put her ass in the projects and watch her lose her fucking mind. You can take a poor motherfucker, make him rich, and make him poor again, and yeah, we'll go through some depression. We'll probably go through some drugs and some addiction to kind of self-medicate through that trauma, but we've been here before. We just gonna get back up.
Big facts. I can't argue with that. As much as I'd say, you
so
know,
a change is gonna come.
As much as I'd say I don't like Trump, I gotta agree with the perspective.
That's exactly what I was referring to. I love that song.
I gotta agree with it. Now, what we looking like on time for this show?
We just hit 1:36.
Oh, so we're
wrapping up.
Yeah, we gotta wrap up. So the last one we got here. I mean, hidden curriculums. I guess we can hit on that because it's kind of short. Just hidden curriculums in school, as far as like, you know, hey, you're in kindergarten, stay in line. If you get out of
listen
line,
to authority.
Listen to authority. If you get out of line, you're getting punished. You know, and like,
you're a girl, you gotta do this. You're a boy, you gotta do this. This is how boys act.
Yeah, all that shit learned in school. I feel like a lot of people have to be more aware of those things to know, like, hey, you know,
a lot of that stuff is learned at home too, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, more or less. But it's learned at home because it's learned through like school again, advertisements, and like everything. Every advertisement is not just. It's not there just to be there. It's not. Oh, look at this car. It's nice. It's
so
like,
you want everybody to be free and be a free thinker and make their own decisions.
No, because that leads to like chaos.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm saying just being more aware of it, in a sense. That's all I'm saying.
School is kind of like
Schools is a big thing.
it's like a small. It's like its own society, you know. It's like
That's true. It's a micro. It's a micro beaker test tube of the real world. You know what I mean? All the peer pressure, all the cliques, and all that shit is a little more intensified, and it's kind of like this micro version of what it's like in the corporate office or what it's like in college.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like in school, I was telling, I was just talking. I'm like, in freaking elementary school or whatever, high school, you gotta take a host. Like, in my high school, we had to carry an entire. In one of my classes, we had to carry an entire skeleton. That was our bathroom pass. Like, you would have to raise your hand. Hey, can I go to the bathroom? And then you get older, and it's like, I gotta go piss. Like, I'm about to go piss. I don't have to wait to ask you to go piss. So I raise my hand. Hey, excuse me, teacher. Can I go pee? Let me take the bathroom pass from me. That's ridiculous.
Real funny? Anybody who's ever been incarcerated knows just how similar and equivalent elementary, junior high, and high school is to prison. From the time the lights come on, the time for breakfast, how you move through the hallway, nuts to butts, single file line, recess. We call it yard, but nigga, that's recess. Motherfuckers get to go work or go to school. Some prisons don't really have that no more as far as school, but you know, work, school, you got TV time, and then another recess and dinner, and you know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of motherfuckers, I hate to say it, but a lot of motherfuckers who did really well in like elementary and junior high made really good inmates. They really were able to acclimate to the schedule and stay on line with that schedule. A lot of motherfuckers like me, I never really did good in jail because I never really did good in school either. I really couldn't acclimate to times and schedules and movements and shit. I was the type of motherfucker, elementary school, junior high. If my mind said, nigga, go on the playground, I just went the fuck on the playground.
Yeah.
If my mind said, nigga, go home, nigga, I just went home. If I got bored, I just left. So going to jail for me was horrific. First time I went to jail, nigga, I was 11. I got 5 years California Youth Authority. Horrible. And the worst time about that is 6 months solitary confinement. And that was like before you got an hour out your cell every day.
So you was stuck in there till you was 15 or 16?
No, I ended up getting out because I got my back broken 3 places. But I ended up getting out when I was 13.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you injured yourself.
No, not
medical leave.
Motherfuckers injured me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just not the one. Nigga, I'm not sucking your dick and you ain't fucking me. That's not happening. So I'm gladly knuckle up. Nigga, let's get it on. I caught that toothbrush a couple times in the stomach and they stomped me out and spent the next couple months in the infirmary trying to learn how to walk again, but luckily the fractures just caused swelling around the nerve bundle. So once the swelling went down, then the feeling returned. But they told me I would never walk again.
You couldn't feel your legs?
No. I was paralyzed from like about mid stomach down. You know what I'm saying?
At 13.
For how long? Like, how long did it take for that to go down? The swelling, so you could actually walk again.
About 6-7 months.
God damn.
You know what I mean? Like after about 4
That's
months,
like really
I could
internal.
move my feet. But the swelling was really intense, and then it does take a while for the nerves to begin to function regularly again. So it took about 8 months total for me to like be walking.
Yeah. God damn. Did that send you into like a depression at first? Just the thought that you can never walk again? Because I would be devastated.
Oh, I was done. I was ready to go. I was ready. I'm done. This is it for me. It's time to check out. Let's turn the lights out, curtain closed, call time. That's where I was at. And right around that time is when I first started being able to move my feet. And that's when I was like, okay, let me give it a little more time. Let me see how this gonna work out. and then from there, I was able to like, make it happen. But on that note, we're gonna wrap it up. Anybody got any outro words? Anything they want to say?
No. Just be aware. Take the kids to. I ain't got nothing to say.
Everybody out there, remember the word of the day is empathy.
Empathy. Bobby has no empathy.
Even though that has been contradicted throughout this entire conversation.
Man, you done ripped my head off a couple of times. I said, yo.
You pray over there, nigga.
You go pray now.
You go pray over there.
Just
I
like,
love
relax.
facts. I have empathy, but I love facts too.
Yeah.
So,
Excuse my language.
thank everybody out there for listening. Appreciate your time and attention, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
I'm always going to have fair skepticism. I can't force myself to see contradiction when reality tells me otherwise.
The universe is under no obligation to make sense to you.
I'm always going to have fair skepticism.
The universe is under no obligation to make sense to you. And nowhere and at no time are we trained how to turn a fact into knowledge, knowledge into wisdom, and wisdom into insight.
I'm always going to have fair skepticism.
Does the capacity of awareness develop, getting stronger and stronger?